Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Chinese Tier 8 Premium Medium tank, the Type 59-2. Now this is a tank that you can actually currently earn in the February Earn Up Challenge, or is it the February Challenge I think it's called. It's on from the 1st of February all the way through, so it's been on for the past 7 days or 6 days or whatever. And yeah, you can earn this tank. Now this obviously was a tank that was in a season pass, like what, 2 season passes ago, something like that, so most people will already have the tank. But there's going to be quite a few that maybe didn't get it in the season pass, or didn't get a chance to complete that season pass, etc, etc, that didn't get the tank, and now you'll be able to get it for free in this February Earn Up Challenge. And it's a damn good tank. So what do you have to do to be able to get this tank? Well, to get this tank, you have to get 450 points. You get 3 points for coming top on your team, 2 points for coming 2nd, 3rd or 4th, and 1 point for coming 5th, 6th or 7th. So if you were to come in that last bracket every single game, it'd take you about 450 games. And yeah, it's quite a lot of games, but realistically it's just a time sink to be able to get this tank. It's not that difficult, really. And you're going to be getting a damn good tank. Like I say, most people will have already earned it from the season pass, and that means that they'll be getting a hefty chunk of silver, which, who doesn't love silver? It means you can buy more tanks, you can get enough more silver to be able to unlock the new wheelies that are coming out. You can go up that line and be able to buy those tanks, or you can get more tanks on your grinds, whatever you. And that's really nice. You get a ton of silver, and to boot, if you don't get that ton of silver because you don't have the tank, you're getting a damn good tank. So what's the Type 59-2 like? Well, it's a tank you've seen on the channel millions of times because it was one of my favourite tanks for a very long time. It still is one of the sort of the trustworthy tanks to take out on the old battlefield. And that's because it's got pretty good armour, it's got pretty good mobility, it's got a damn good gun, it's got good alpha at 390, it's got pretty damn good camo, it's just a pretty good all-rounder. It's got 7 degrees of gun depression, it's got a very slow reload. Probably the two downsides, and I mean even then 7 degrees of gun depression isn't bad. 7 degrees of gun depression on a tank, on a Soviet-style tank like this, even though it's Chinese, you get the point, is pretty damn good. And yeah, the reload is damn long, but you've got 390 alpha and it's not especially long for 390 alpha at tier 8. There's a lot of tanks that have around that, or say 440, that have reload for way longer. And it just slaps. You've got great shell velocity, you've got probably, realistically, the pen is also a trouble as well. So I'd say really the two downsides are the long reload and the pen, but they're not anything too troublesome because, number one, the gun is accurate. You've got good camo and you've got good mobility and you've got good armour. So when you go hull down and stuff, you can bounce tanks quite reliably, which is very nice. And the pen on this tank is 200 on the APCR with like 13 or 1400 shell velocity, which is great. And 250 on the heat. Now the 200 pen on the APCR is a little bit disappointing at times. And will let you down, especially in tier 10 games, quite badly. And yeah, that's a massive downside to the tank. And even it will let you down in tier 9 and tier 8 games as well. 250 heat pen is great because you'll pen most weak spots with it. The only issue is that it's heat, so when you actually get round to a position where you can't pen things in the side even with APCR and you have to fire the heat rounds, well, you'll still get your shells absorbed by Space Arm because heat rounds. Not my favourite shell in the world, but it is what it is. So what do I run as a crew on this tank? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Steady Aim, Trap Mechanic, Camouflage Expertise, and Muffled Shot. Now that's my generic crew setup, really, for a tank that has pretty damn good camo, and I want to make that better, and a pretty damn good gun. Now, in terms of equipment, I do run a rammer, vert stabs, and optics. Now, I was experimenting for quite a while with just running a camo net instead of vert stabs, but the gun, I started to get a little bit frustrated with the gun missing shots and just sort of the bloom of the gun in missing those shots without the vert stabs. And because, like I say, you've got a fairly long reload at, when we see it tick over, 9.9 seconds without a food boost, it was getting a little bit frustrating missing those shells. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to put the vert stabs back on. That's what you're seeing in these two games. The gun just becomes so trustworthy again. And it just becomes beautiful. And then it becomes a tank that you just absolutely slap people up with 390 alpha. And I mean, this game you're seeing here, we are horrendously bottom tier. I think we're horrendously bottom. We are definitely bottom tier. I think there's quite a few tier 10s in this game. We've seen us face quite a few. And we're on Duckler Pass, and I thought I'd attack the 1-2 line. And I've not actually attacked the 1-2 line, really, from the side we're on, since before they removed the map. So I couldn't really remember what was happening, and there's little changes, like behind me at D4, there's actually a rock formation that's been accentuated. So that rock formation behind me at D4 actually protects anyone, if they go to those rocks, from the people that snipe from the hills in front of me. That used to be a thing on the old Duckler Pass, but it wasn't that big, so you still could get shot quite easily from them. Now they've made the rocks more curved up, so it actually protects you from that. I actually got attacked by a T-54 before on another game, and yeah, he wrecked me, and it was like, why is no one shooting him? Oh, because the rocks actually protect him. That wasn't the thing before. So I ended up running down there and getting a bit stuck when we came against the machine, and was like, oh, what am I doing? I don't really know what's happening anymore. Oh dear. And we managed to get lucky, really, that we managed to get rid of the machine and get others out. So we've attacked further along. We've come along this sea line, and we've gone after this SDRV. Now, I wanted to get round him, get more shots in, and we did actually make a mistake there in letting him deactivate his crutches and then get round, because he did the right thing when I was attacking him. Deactivated his siege mode, got back, swiveled round when he was a little bit quicker at swiveling, and then managed to put another shot in. We managed to just about dodge the Death Star shell there. I think he thought that I might pull all the way around that corner, but I didn't. And then we are managing to farm this guy up. Hopefully we get the finishing shot, but unfortunately not. The VK7201K managed to finish him off. And now there's only 3 tanks left in this game. There's 2 TDs and a heavy tank. And we're going to go charging over here and see if we can hopefully get another shot in, because, I mean, my team's also marauding towards them. The likelihood is, well, not very likely. So we're on 5,400 damage and 524 assistance in a tier 10 game. That's a really nice game for bottom tier. Especially for this tank. Like I say, this tank is really damn good. And I can see why it didn't get any buffs in the recent Chinese medium buff patch. That they pretty much buffed every Chinese medium. This tank didn't get it, but like I say, I can see why. Because this tank is damn good. The only thing, like I said, the only thing that truly lets it down is the 200 pen. And it's the same on the Revelarice, which has the same gun, right? You get in that bottom tier game, and unless you're getting against squishy tanks and you're having to shoot at more armoured tanks when you get towards the end of the game and stuff like that, it just becomes a pain, and you really do struggle to get the damage out, because it's just painful. A lot of tanks nowadays have like over 210 pen, which will help you out, and then even when they load the premium, they've got a better round than 250 heat pen. We managed to finish the FV215B there with a shot in straight into his lower plate, which is nice. I didn't expect us to actually get there to get that shot in, so we'll take it. We finished with the victory. We come top on our team. 5.5k damage, 524 assistance, a bit of blocked, ace tanker, the Confederate, nearly 2.3k base XP, and like I say, in a game that we were pretty damn bottom tier. It's always nice to have those sorts of games in a tier 8 when you are bottom tier. It's always satisfying, you know, when you come out on top, it's always great. So we're on to the second game. And we're on Redshire. Get the map. It's in front of me, and I couldn't get the map out of my brain then. And we're just going to go to what I'd probably call the medium flank. The flank with all the hills, because we are in a tier 9 game, and I can go over here, use my 7 degrees of gun depression. Now, it would obviously be nicer if I had 8, 9, or 10, but 7 degrees will do. We'll be able to make do with that over here. And we can get hull down on these ridge lines. Try and get some shots out, try and get surprise shots out, spot the team that might be camping on the D4, C5 and E4, 3 areas. Essentially spot them out, hopefully get some assistance, get some damage out, and just keep harassing. Now these ridge lines can be a bit stalematy at times. You've just got to keep changing up the angles and not keep poking up in the same place. So I'm going over here. I actually see a shot whiz by, and at first I'm thinking, wait, there's already a tank down there. Maybe a lot of tanks rushed down the one line. It was actually probably a shot from a tank sitting at D7 spotting me up. Now I was thinking, oh, I'll go into the next dip. Now that would have been a little bit too aggressive. When we get fortunate there, we bounce a shot for 400. And it's like, okay, nope, not doing that. Spot the E75 in the other tank. It's like, no, okay, I'm going over this side. And this is what I'm talking about with changing angles. So that area we were in then is not going to work. So it's like, okay, we'll change to be over here and see if we can spot anything else, see if we can get any cheeky shots in at someone in a different area. And now this T-44 gets spotted. We managed to get a nice shot into his side, and we're just looking to see if we can get another one at him when we reload. But unfortunately for us, he pulls back behind a rock. But he's trying to stay safe from other people as well as just me, so he ends up exposing himself to give us another shot, which is very, very tasty. We're up to 508 assistance and 771 damage so far, because we've got a little bit of assisted on the other guys and on that T-44. And now we've got a side shot at this T-54E2 as he drives into the dip on the other side. And this is what I'm on about, right? We're creating a crossfire, because they've got my heavy tank friend and my tanks on the 1 line that they're probably preoccupied with, and there doesn't seem to be anyone on the 7-8 line that can get shots into our side as we poke up on top of this ridge line. So from here I can get a crossfire, I can get extra shots into these guys' sides, and I can basically distract them and try and help my team a little bit. But they do actually end up having someone over there. He gets spotted up. It's T-28 prototype. From that distance we're never going to spot him, but fortunately enough my team is pushing down the 9-0, so they've spotted him up, and we're just going to keep pumping shots in. A nice high roll there, 431. We're up to 2k damage and 580 assistance, and I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to switch up where I am. Now I know where our tanks are on the 8-9 line, and there's pretty much no one over there. I want to get onto this side, onto their ridge line over here, so I can get shots into the back of these guys where the T-55A's moved into, and this T-54E2. Now I'm going to poke up this ridgeline. I want to get... Now the T-54E2 is a deadly target, but I actually just want to get rid of the T-55A. Unfortunately enough for me, he's not actually bothered about this T-54E2, and I'm just looking for a shot at him. I'm like, okay, I'll go for the cupola, and we ricochet off the cupola. That's where the 200 pen lets us down. We should have really penned that cupola, but 200 pen just said no when we bounced, because it was only orange. And unfortunately, we didn't get that pen on that guy, and we didn't get to finish him off, but it is what it is. Now we're changing up the angle on these guys. We get up behind a Conqueror and get a big nice shot into his side. We put him down into a position where we can one-shot him if we high roll a little bit. We've got a high roll by 4. That Chieftain T95, well, yeah, that Chieftain T95 is over there. He is going to be a bit of a nuisance in the fact that it's just going to be in the back of my mind when I come over to attack these guys. We get a nice shot into the T77. Like I say, it's just a case of knowing that that guy's over there and that he could get unfettered shots into me. So just exactly like that. He gets a shot into lower plate. I have to burn the repair kit because he damaged my fuel tank. So if I take another shot there, I'm going to get set on fire. And we don't want that. And it's just annoying to know that he's over there and he's the only one over there. Because, well, it's just a nuisance, right? Because it's in the back of my mind. It means I can't be as aggressive and push these guys as much as I want to. So I have to turn my attention to him, to get rid of him. But you did see me push up into a position where I could stay safe from him to try and get shots at the T-77. By using the rock in front of me, I actually managed to push up into a place where he couldn't get a sight line on me, and then I would try to get a shot into the T-77, but unfortunately we bounced. But you can see, I want to get rid of that guy, but I can see when he's in a position where he might not be able to shoot me. And I'm just using that time when he seems to be distracted to poke over, get a shot into the enemy, and just keep trying to whittle the health down. And like I say, you can see, I want to get rid of this guy, so I'm just keeping my eye on him. And he made a mistake there. He drove out, gave me his side, and we get a big, nice, juicy shot into his side armor there and track him in place. We're up to 800 assistance, 4,800 damage. And I'm just trying to change up the angle again a little bit, just to see if I can get a different shot at someone over here. And we're just going to push over, see if we can get a shot into this Jackal. But unfortunately, he's dropped below the ridge line over there, so I can't quite see him. So it's like, okay, no. And then this Chieftain T95 seems to be out of position, so we can see him. We couldn't quite hit him in the cupola there with the gun. Really unfortunate, but then he gets relit up, and it's like, hello, Mr. Chieftain T95, I want to get rid of you. The shot flies true, straight into his cupola, shuts him down. Now there's the Jackal that's pulled out in front of us, but unfortunately we reload just a little bit too slowly to finish him off. Now we're reloaded, it's like, hello, Mr. T77, I'm going for you. Poor shot there, because we actually shot straight into the middle of his turret, which is the strongest bit. We needed to shoot the cheeks of his turret, but unfortunately didn't quite get it. And this is where the 7 degrees of gun depression is just being a little bit awkward. The lip of the ridge line in front of us mean we couldn't quite get over to get a shot in. Now this M103 here, we couldn't quite get the shot into him in time before he got shot down. And that's really sad, but it is what it is. Now we're waiting for the shell to go. We managed to get tracked by the E75, but I track him in places I'm expecting him to get blapped by my friends, and I'm like, just give me assistance. give me some friendly assistance. Unfortunately enough, there's the shots. We end up bumping our assistance up to 2,000 assistance. Slap the heat round into his side because 200 pen can bounce on an E75 quite easily in the side even if you go to the wrong angle. And unfortunately we didn't get to shut him down, but we did get a very nice total. And we finished with 3 kills, nearly 5.7k damage, 2k assist, fair amount of bounce, ace tanker, Confederate, high caliber, 2.4, nearly 2.5k base XP. A really nice game for the Type 59-2, a tank that you're all going to be able to get for free in the February challenge. It's a great tank, and if you already own it, you'll get a ton of silver, which, who doesn't love silver? So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!